Record.
Hey there, everybody. How you doing today? We're here for an episode of Coffee Talk with Brohawk, and I just realized, and Bill and I were talking about this before. It's been over a year since I've done one of these, and if anyone who knows me, I love doing these type of informal conversations that we call Coffee Talk with Brohawk. And today, I'd love for you to meet my guest today, Bill Henrich. And Bill, can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and what are you up to these days?
Sure. Thanks, Mark, for having this. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. This will be a interesting podcast.
Yeah.
I am in the telecommunications career. I spent my entire career on a customer side, so I've always been supporting an actual customer that I'm working for, trying to negotiate contracts, approve invoices, and do whatever I could on their behalf, look for the best deals, and also when signing invoices, making sure that those invoices are correct. And
Okay.
I knew that I kind of became pretty efficient with that. And as telecom goes, you really need a master's degree if you're understanding any kind of telecom invoicing.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's also by design. I think they really want to make it confusing for you. But in 2019, right before COVID hit, I decided I was going to venture out and do some consulting work. And
Okay.
I don't know if that was a good time or bad because it was right before COVID, but some of my contacts, I guess it was fortunate. They actually, when COVID hit, they went in and we all learned a new term. It's called furlough, and a lot of
Mm.
them had to furlough some of their employees and their staff, and which kind of opened a window up for consultants to come in, and so that's kind of how I got started. So I yeah got a few
The
opportunities there, and
Yeah, the accidental consultant.
yeah.
I think a lot of folks who have been consulting for any period of time, it's probably similar stories. You kind of fall into it,
Yeah.
and it ends up being a great career, lots of relationships. Um, yeah, it's funny. You know, that term furlough seems to be making a comeback. Um,
Yeah,
these days.
unfortunately, but well,
Yep.
maybe good for consultants, but yeah,
Yep.
unfortunate for employees. So
Yeah. And the people that are left behind too.
yeah,
They're folks that are left behind still have all the work that needs to be done, just fewer supporting resources to make that happen. And like you were saying in the telecom space, the I've seen some of these bills with some of my clients, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you need not just a master's, but almost a doctorate
yeah.
to figure out what it is that you're paying for. So for you, what was the foundational reason why or the driving factor for you to go ahead and start your business?
Well, as I mentioned, I kind of fell into it,
Yep.
but then I uncovered that, yeah, not only as a consultant, which I could have continued being, but then I realized, hey, there's basically a channel out there that I could also um, advise and actually sell services,
Hmm.
telecom services to these customers and get paid by the actual carrier, not charging the customer. And I thought, well, this
Hmm.
is basically what I've been doing my entire career, only I get paid by the carriers, which is a better deal. And I'm not also tied to any one carrier. I could find the best solution for those and provide options to each of those customers. So, but I still needed a name for my business. So, but that's how it got started. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Bourne Identity series, the
Yep.
Jason Bourne. I'm really more of a fan of the first one, but they were all good. And during the first one, if you remember, the government's project that they had for him was called Treadstone, and I always really liked that name, Treadstone. And I thought, well, I'll just call my company Treadstone. But unfortunately, that wasn't available.
Yeah,
But I still kind of like the sound of it, and I've always been a big fan of bears as well.
yeah,
Not from the hunting side. I'm an animal lover, but just to watch those huge beasts, just the way they control their environment, I just really always enjoyed watching them. So I thought, why not Bearstone? So that's kind of how Bearstone started as my company, and then also as I was getting into that and actually selling some services, I went back to my roots again and always remembered that I hated signing off on those large invoices,
mhm,
knowing because I had the knowledge, like I said, I had the knowledge to uncover all of the errors, but just knowing that I didn't have the time to be able to do just for our companies and find all of the errors. So I started the process of developing an app, which is it's a really big deal if you've never gone through it, and getting the resources and figuring out how to start the tactics of it. So, but that's what I did, and
excellent.
became very astute at it. And it's been so we're kind of in our third year of actual production, but yeah, it's been 5 years in the making of developing that app, and so
Yeah.
it's
Now,
called
Bill,
Bear Guard. Yeah,
I
that's
was going to
Bear.
say,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of a play on the bear. And we're trying to use that, and that was available, so we've got Bear Guard, and it's really TIM telecommunications expense management as a service. So it's kind of TIM as a service, which was unique out in the industry. So.
yeah, that when I first started talking with you and your team, just to learn more about what it is exactly that BearGuard does. I was like, my eyes were like wide open. I was like, holy shnikey.
Yeah.
There's a whole other world of expense management here that goes on after the sale, for
Hmm.
companies, and to be able to really weed through all the noise that comes in on those monthly invoices. I mean, it's an art form. Um,
Yep.
so let's talk a little bit about BearGuard and what are the advantages of in partnering with you and your team aside from the fact that you've been doing this since you were like 2 years old.
Well, not quite two. Yeah, that's an extreme, but yes, yeah. So Bear Guard does three things. One, which we talked about, it identifies the billing errors
Mhm.
for customers and saves time in being able to dispute them with the carriers and recover that credit. It also provides customers with an accurate, real-time online inventory of all of their telecom services, which most do not have. And I mentioned in my career I was pretty astute, and I would try to do that by maintaining spreadsheets. And as we all know, that just doesn't work because as soon as it's old and outdated, it's not accurate, and you might as well throw it away. But with BearGuard, it is forced to be accurate because anytime something new comes in or something old falls off, we have to investigate it and then change the inventory inside of BearGuard. So it's basically self-maintainable for the inventory for the customers. And then thirdly, we have access to all of their data for customers. So it's real easy to be able to click a button and provide very accurate for budget and forecasting information for them, which
Mm.
is a side benefit because they're always looking at that. And usually, when that time comes of the year when you're trying to do budgets and forecasts for next year, what did we spend? Where did we spend it? And again, you go back to spreadsheets that may or may not be accurate. And And then you can't just look at uh, financial reports because they don't tell the whole story. They just tell you a partial of what you paid. They may not show credits properly and everything else. So yeah, those are the big benefits of those Bear Guard.
Well, and I can see a couple other things that you're able to partner with, your clients on is just your knowledge of the telecom industry. Um, you're able to see, what they are paying for, but also what they're not paying for that could
Mm-hmm.
potentially. So from a consultative approach, you're able to go back in and make recommendations on things that they should have that may may save them some money as well. Correct?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. And
Yeah.
be, because of the way Bear Guard was designed, as I mentioned, time is of absolute essence there. So uh, with the knowledge that I had from that, I was able to determine that we could actually go out and identify um, with each carrier, AT&T, Verizon, Comcast,
Hmm.
Lumen, whoever it is, by getting onto their portal and downloading a CSV of the actual line item detail that's on an invoice. So
Hmm.
even if I, like I said, if I had the knowledge on how to look at a 500-page invoice with over 2,000 lines on it for $700,000, I just didn't have the time to sift through all that to find these. But by developing BearGuard and creating an inventory of what I expect that charge to be,
Hmm.
importing and ingesting an invoice in a CSV file that actually shows what they are charging, then I can
Yeah.
quickly compare and do the math and identify the the those that stick out basically and where the errors are and um, and find the errors quickly.
One of the things that I mean, it's a great segue into like my next thought here, and you've been able to solve some real problems for your customers. Um, what are the things that what are the things that you're seeing if you don't mind going into some of those at high level? Um,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you look at most companies as we talk to them and initially, they have somebody um, that may have designed the network or may have put in the VoIP solution. He's looking at the invoice, he or she is looking at the invoices and trying to see, yeah, that's close enough, and I'll sign off on it. Um, Again, they don't have the time, and if they're not, again, have their masters, they really don't understand telecom billing to
Hmm.
be able to say, and so they're just signing off saying it's close enough. Um, but internally, that's usually what most companies are doing. And if they do have the knowledge, again, back to my world, they don't have the time to do it. So what we're doing is coming in and being able to use our ability through BearGuard by
Hmm.
downloading that invoice once we get a customer on and being able to quickly, in less than 5 seconds, compare what they are being charged versus what the contract said they should be getting charged.